interested in doing the runs. Looks like we do not have a game, but the race had started.
Oh, excellent! They are off.
There we go. Yeah, I saw it on the Discord that they had already gone and just forgot to switch the scene.
So both of these runners have definitely been putting in their time. BRan was determined to get a 17 before the start of this tournament, which he was able to do. You can see obviously the sync between them right now. I have a feeling, unless anything disastrous happens, we are going to see a really close race the whole way through.
Yeah, for sure. And before we're watching the same runner. It really does feel like that, you know?
Yeah, it looks like we're viewing the same screens at the moment, actually.
Yeah. SubStylee apparently was a little bit slow. The stairs though, so BRan is taking a slight lead though. So it didn't matter though.
Are we sure we're not viewing the same screen? Because that was a that was a really cool double jump.
I really feel like we're watching the same runners. This is...
Yeah, no, we gotta be watching the same screen. There's no way they're both doing that strat. BRan doesn't go for that strat. Yeah. BRan does the straight jumps.
Yeah, I think we have... I think we're watching the same runner.
Okay, we'll get this all sorted in 1 second, guys.
It's SubStylee racing himself. Thought this seemed a little too close. The hype is... yeah, you're right, Darkseer. The hype is gone. Bad man.
Hey, they could be that synced. We just don't know it.
Yeah, that's true. Right? Yeah, it would have been the best race ever, dude. They just would have tied and everything. And then we would have found out at the end of it, oh, they weren't actually tied.
Alright, there we go. Yeah, I
okay,
saw the swap there. Okay. We are still synced, despite that little hiccup.
Yeah. You can tell just by the timers are out of sync.
Speaking of which, good time to probably shout out all of the people behind the scenes that have made this happen. You know, the team at RGL has been amazing at throwing this all together for us in such a short period of time.
Yeah, big shout outs to them. And also, I want to give a big shout out, like I'd already given a shout out before, but I just want to give a big shout out to the Bloodstained Custom Discord. The community's very helpful. Very, very kind, very funny guys. I enjoy everyone of them. They pretty much, you know, introduce anybody like their own family.
Speaking of which, there's a link if anyone does want to get involved, whether you want to take part in View casually or if you're interested in running yourself. Definitely join up. It's a helpful community through and through.
Yes, for sure. If you're debating if you want to pick this game up, highly recommend. It's like $10. It's worth every.
Yes, come be part of the Frog Squad, as CEO mentions. Indeed. Join today.
Join today.
Wow, we are back in sync again. I mean, coming down the stairs.
Yeah, this is pretty hype. Wow. Oh, then BRan kind of flubbed up that jump back, but that's okay.
I think with SubStylee's PB today, they are probably I would say within a few seconds now, to put this in perspective, like not just in this race, but their PBs are now a few seconds apart.
Someone's asking you, laminate.
Lament when? No immediate plans.
Yeah, to be announced.
So SubStylee had a little bit of an issue with the axes there. I didn't see how BRan's went, but it looks like he did miss a couple of the axes.
BRan's went pretty solid. Don't think he missed any. He got the slash, so... Oh, and he got the kill. SubStylee not far behind. Looks like it's because SubStylee missed a charm. BRan got the charm. So it looks like SubStylee costed SubStylee just a few seconds.
I think we're not even really into the defining part, though. I mean, we can see a little bit of wavering here and there, but I'm betting that we're going to see the real difference probably in the back half of the game. I feel like, and I've started to feel like, 1 to 4 is pretty free once you have a set way of doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
But the back half of the game can be a little more detrimental, a little more hard on your health.
But I definitely wouldn't count out. Sorry, my cat distracted me. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't count out stage 3 or 4, not like actually killing runs, because as we saw with Kazik, it definitely hurt his run quite a bit. Yeah, we've seen quite a few upsets this tournament, though. Just absolutely crazy. It's been a lot of fun to watch.
And you know what? I tried to do my homework beforehand, and the other runners can probably attest to this as well. You can't really come up with a great solution. If you lose a key character in any of the levels, you're faced with the idea of wiping the rest of your team for the sake of getting that character back, in which case you're going to lose all of your sub-weapons, or going on and staying the course without that character and trying to work around it. Now, depending on where your last checkpoint is, how quickly you can actually take those deaths with the other characters versus, you know, get those other sub-weapons back, it's really kind of a mind game on how you should proceed. And I was trying to think on it beforehand, and I was like, man, I'm never going to be able to come up with a solution for all of the probable situations that could happen, right?
Yeah, for sure. Also, BRan just got a solid pressure. That was really solid. So we're onto the stage 3 boss here.
5 seconds between them right now.
Stairs boss is hardest boss, you're correct.
Ooh, BRan misses the ice.
Oh, did he? Oh, I missed one of them.
Yeah, his second ice shot. This is going to give SubStylee a little bit of a chance. Oh, wow. The sync is back.
Yeah, let's see how it goes here. Oh, wow. They in sync with deaths. As I said, you definitely can't count out. I think stage 3 out of the first 4 is probably the hardest in the first half, and then the back half. I'd have to say stage 7, but like hands down is stage.
Yeah, 7 is definitely where the most can go wrong. I would say 6 and 5 can both sneak up on you, and if something goes awry and you're not ready for it, it can catch you off guard. There's a lot of pits in 5 and 6 that you don't necessarily think on, but I agree with that. I mean, 3 is definitely the most daunting out of the front half.
Yeah. And then after that, I'd say probably... I'd have to say like probably stage 5 out of the second out of the front half. Or... yeah, probably the second hardest, I'd say. Just because the bosses and the movement in that can be kind of daunting. Once you get it down pat, it's not too big of a deal though.
And it's possible to get the glitch state on the stage 5 boss, similar to what we saw, or I think we've seen it at least once, maybe not. But there's a glitch state that can happen where the enemy doesn't end up taking double damage from your next attack and doesn't really unfreeze. You kind of don't hit them as you think you would.
Yeah.
So that can be a little bit costly as well, more than a few seconds.
Yeah. We had seen it, but I didn't talk about it mainly because it's
Unfortunate.
It's unfortunate. I didn't really see it, but yeah, if it happens, it can lose you a lot of time because you lose damage. Less damage means time loss. So
yeah, these two are just trading the lead at the moment, just a few seconds here and there.
yeah, for sure. It's probably gonna pretty much just come down to who does their stage 7. If something else crazy happens. Like even their charge is in sync.
Looks like BRan got the double off the bat on the the second phase of the Dragon Head. Interestingly enough, you know, it's pretty well known that you can get doubles with the charge slash and other things.
Right.
Rarely like the chain. Phase 2 Dragon is the only thing that we've managed to get a triple slash on. Happens from time to time. I've only gotten it a couple times myself, but it actually does 36 damage if you happen to hit it.
So looks like they both opted to use Miriam here instead of just keeping with Zangetsu.
It's safer. I mean, you don't risk taking that extra hit and accidentally dying. It's kind of hard to keep an eye on your health in that situation.
For sure. If you're not used to using Zangetsu, very dangerous.
I think that's probably the biggest hurdle for the Zang only runners to pick up when they make the swap over to this category is switching characters, getting used to actually switching characters and kind of knowing those options. It's a skill set in and of itself.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you started with Zenga and then you swap over to something like 80% or 80% no it definitely can be something that is a real challenge. Great for 10 minutes.
Switching feels wrong. Now, Sio, you're just not used to it yet.
Yeah. Guess this run is not that long. You know, you can beat the game in 30 minutes. TA time easily.
I still remember those week 1 discussions of, hey, do you guys think sub 40 is possible? Yeah, sub 40 is possible.
Indeed.
Everyone was so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and where this could go, and I don't think we ever expected to find all of the stuff that we did, but...
Yeah, and now we know all this stuff, just like, it's mine. Like, even no OB is like, it's not even that much slower than 80%.
If anyone is looking to learn, there is not any tutorials available at the moment, and I think the reasoning behind that is because, well, up until probably yesterday and going forward, strats have been changing every day. We're still in the midst of finding things that are faster and timing out those little details, so
for sure.
join the Discord and ask, because I don't think there's anything you're going to find video related as of yet.
Yeah,
and watch runs, of course, watch runs.
I recommend don't watching like the world record if you're starting playing, mainly because there's a lot of strats that are very risky if you don't know what you're doing. So watching world records runs doing certain strats, like right here with the ice axe, like I've been saying before, it looks easy, but it's a lot harder than you think.
Something happened with SubStylee there, actually. I saw the freezing glitch, although it didn't even look like he hit the boss. That was really strange. He slid under the boss, and it looks like he got the freezing glitch. I don't know why that is.
Watching runs this video. You got us there, Bo.
To answer the question in chat, Zhang's charge slash does a base of 12, 13 if you have the power glove, and Miriam's axe does a base of 25. So axe is the way to go. We've basically deemed it kind of the most powerful thing for all situations.
Yep. Unless you do ice, which in some situations can out DPS. Which that's one strat you unfortunately hadn't. That's mainly because Ice Axe is just way faster and more consistent. Because Icicle takes forever to set up. But what Icicle does is you throw out 2 of the sickles that Miriam has, and she can freeze them, freezing the boss. And so, as the boss is unfrozen and your sickles are being frozen, every frame they'll do a damage. It's very interesting, very insane.
Yeah, essentially when the projectiles, when the scythes or the sickles there are being unfrozen, so not when they're quite unfrozen as of yet, but when you see them flashing, their hitbox is active. So full duration that it takes them to unfreeze, they will be doing damage to the boss. It's a really neat trick. It started out as kind of a cute trick when we found it, and then we're like, okay, this is legitimately something.
Yeah, yeah. We've been kind of debating if it's intended or not. It's kind of hard to exactly 100% say. It looks like it's unintended, but it could have been something kind of like an Easter egg or something.
SubStylee got the nice clip there through the ceiling.
Yeah.
It's tough. It saves you a little bit of time over the Miriam jump in that room with lava, but ultimately it's only about a second and a half, so if you don't get it spot on, you're probably going to come out on par, if not lose time. If you ever do that wall jump and you don't get high enough to get out of the wall when you turn into a bat, simply run into an enemy and you will get de-boosted up onto the ledge. So thankfully there's a nice safe backup there.
Yep. So definitely looks like BRan's definitely got a very lead here, but like I said, SubStylee is not fine. Pretty much looks like it'll pretty much come down to if one of them mess up the if BRan messes up the Chapter 7 zip, then Style could very easily catch up.
I was not the one to say it. I would never wish that upon another runner, another racer.
I'm staying neutral here.
So BRan finishing off the stage 6 boss, the only boss really where you'll see us use lightning. That being said, Ice Axe would, by my math, be a little bit faster here. The problem is lack of consistency, because the umbrellas actually suffer from RNG and which way they go and whatnot, and because you need essentially that middle umbrella to hit with Axe, you don't want to count on that. You go in with lightning, bang bang boom, same fight every time, but there's potentials for time save there, RNG aside with Ice Axe.
Yeah, for sure. Another interesting thing about a couple of the stages is that stage 3 and stage 6, their in-game time still run all the way up till fade out, which is very weird. It's something I found through the in-game timer.
Have you heard about character swapping during the ending sequences there?
Which one?
So if you're, after you get like Miriam, whatnot on the first level, as you're, you know how you have to run to the right to get off the screen, make it fade out, etc.
Yep.
If you actually character swap during that screen post getting one of the other characters, it starts running the in-game timer again. Oh, Stylee!
Oh no! And BRan also missing the bat dash. But that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's something that I think Captain Brian had figured out upon testing. Looks like Stylee here, he's going to go for the full team sack, so he is going to lose out on his sub-weapons. He's still really early in the stage. I mean, I can't say I blame him. You're going to have a lot of time loss not having Zangetsu with the dash ability to make the rest of this easier.
Yeah, for sure. And he's right there at a hit, so it's not like being like that much of a time loss to do it.
We're gonna need BRan to sneeze again now. Burb wishing him the best, obviously.
Obviously. Of course.
Feel sneeze, man.
Sneeze is a powerful technique. I mean, it made him win his last round, obviously.
Alright, so SubStylee take 2 on this stage. He really only needs to find the axe at this point. I mean, having ice is definitely up his alley. And there's his axe. So he is set again. He's back to go.
Back into go mode. Yeah, the axe, it's not that hard to find in Chapter 7, or Stage 7. Let's try to call them chapters for some reason. These are obviously chapters.
BRan did make it through his zip without issue, so unless there's another unfortunate issue in stage 8, it's BRan's race to lose at this point. You know, he's pretty much got it on lockdown.
So still could still pull a CO.
Down goes Bathin. Honestly, it's kind of sad because he's one of the cooler bosses, and you don't really get to see him too much, especially if you're playing no out of bounds and you have 40 weapon points. Well, Bathin doesn't even move.
Yeah, oh yeah. And no out of bounds, he just dies super easy. Like I said, normal. Yeah, he's very easy. Go ahead and just take down because he literally takes 3 hits and he dies. Yeah, but it is definitely unfortunate. He's definitely my favorite. I thought he was really fun to fight. Looks like SubStylee definitely had a very good zip there.
So to cover a couple questions in chat, how much time does the zip save and how does the zipping mechanic work? Overall, stage 4 and 7 combined save about 60 to 70 seconds, depending on how strong your no out of bounds game is. The way it works in terms of stage 4, or any stage really, if you turn an enemy, or in certain cases like the icicle zips, a sickle to ice, and you fly into them into bat form, you can force yourself into the floor by untransforming while you're close to the ground. There's a few caveats that depending on if you're doing like sickle zips and whatnot. So that one is done that way. Stage 7 is done as a stair zip. So there's actually stairs that you're catching off screen. And for the duration of that, you essentially hold up until you hold down to exit the zip at the appropriate time. But stage 7 zip is much, much more risky than stage 4 zip is.
Alright, BRan looking like was done with stage 8 here. Coming in to definitely one of the risky, one of the risky points that can happen. Like I've died a couple times here just off.
Stage 8's a sleeper. If you get too presumptuous with it, if you get too comfy, every once in a while it'll toss you for a loop.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely. I would have to say it's probably is the easiest stage, but I definitely Shai just said, don't sleep on stage 8 because that's when you die.
That's how PBs die.
Yeah, that's definitely how PBs die.
So BRan coming into phase 1 of Grammary here.
Going for the ball and chain.
Ball and chain's fairly new. I threw that in the other day just for the sake of those weapon pots being 5 weapon energy, or the lanterns on phase 2 being 5 weapon energy. Right. And with the math, with having 30 weapon points, essentially, if all is done correctly in first phase, BRan should end up, and he does, with 8 weapon points, which gives him 1 fire shield as well as 1 initial ball and chain. You do want to collect the small magic pots that Gremmary's moons drop, because you can actually get in a few quicker ball and chains between your charge slashes, and you can take a little bit of time off that way.
Alright, SubStylee. Not that far behind. It's like I'm just gonna have to chalk it up that the only reason BRan got was just very good movement, and well, obviously that too. Even before then, he was still. Let's see how it goes here. Looks like BRan might have missed a couple. It might not.
This fight can be deceptively hard to do really well, and GG to BRan. Phase 2, it is not that difficult to miss a charge slash, especially once you start throwing in the ball and chains for extra damage. You can get a little bit anxious, you can jump a little bit too quickly, and of course you're working 2 different weapon buttons. But no, 24-32, that's a really solid RTA time.
Yeah,
I'm expecting he's going to come out probably, I would say 17.3x or 17.4x in game. Really, really close to his PB, actually. Very good run.
Yeah, for sure. GG to BRan. And so we got SubStylee not too far behind. I'd say like 30, 40 seconds behind.
Freeland calling BRan's in-game time is a 17:39. Freeland is a little bit of a witch when it comes to this stuff, so it's possible he's going to be right.
Yeah, I mean it's because it's like I think it's like 6.5. When it comes to in-game time, it's super random compared to like when it comes compared to like RTA. So
yeah, you kind of get a feel for what the two numbers look like cohesively. I mean, myself, I play on console, so I don't get a peek at my in-game time throughout. But any of the runners that use the auto splitter on PC, especially, they know what that in-game time looks like in relation to the RTA. So
yep.
GG to SubStylee as well. It came really close at the end for getting bumped off, but he does finish.
So SubStylee forgetting to turn off his timer again.
All right. GG to both. I am going to dart it right quick so I can kind of prep before the final race here. But GG to everyone. Thanks for commentating with me, Sloa, and thanks everyone for hanging out.
It's no problem at all. All right. And with that, we got the finals. We got Strizer versus BRan. So definitely stay tuned for that. About to get ready with that.